Hi everyone, Alva Psych here. I have a short video for you today for informational purposes only, and I've entitled it Being a Container. Okay, so what is a container in psychoanalysis? Now, this term was fairly big when I was in school back in the 80s. That was the 1980s. I think most of the reason was that borderline personality disorder, BPD, was kind of a big thing then. Okay, there's a lot of information related to borderline personality disorder, and the idea of a container was a big deal for, and is a big deal for borderline personality disorder. It's also the idea of being a container and having containment is also used a lot today. You know, in trauma therapy and somatic therapy and EMDR, they talk about, having a container. You may have heard it in that context. Now, one of the issues with individuals with borderline personality disorder is that they have very permeable, fluid ego boundaries, and issues such as emotional instability, impulsive behavior, difficulty controlling anger, etc. So being a therapist meant that you had to help contain the client or assist the client in regulating emotions and behavior. Sometimes meant you, as therapist, had to acknowledge and mirror the client's feeling of being overwhelmed and then demonstrate a sense of calm and model self-regulation or even, teach self-regulation. Um, so you don't have to be an individual with borderline personality disorder, however, to benefit from containment. So think of, and we'll start off with an infant or a young child who's crying, and the benefits that the child gets from, a parent holding the child, rocking and soothing the child. That's an actual physical containment. So that the child found itself in a situation of not being able to self-regulate. So the parent just physically shows you, how to do it. And ideally, the child is learning how to incorporate the soothing techniques that have been used by the parent. Okay, so now let's expand this circle here to include teachers. Okay, so they often have to deal with students that may be anxious about um, not performing in the classroom, or myriad of other issues that they may be dealing with. Now here, the teacher hopefully um, takes on the role of container, accepting and acknowledging the anxiety and the feelings of the child, and providing a sense of calm and support. As the teacher and the student kind of navigate the coursework and other areas of concern together, and hopefully the student learns to deal with these performance issues, you know, ind independently, down the road, independently, learning that. And I hope you can think back fondly on some teachers that worked in this fashion. And of course, you may also think back on some who didn't, but okay, that's another issue. Now, let's push this circle even a little bit further before we end. So as adults, we sometimes have to deal with difficult situations and scenarios. Now, isn't it helpful to have someone that will listen, maybe even hug you, console you during a difficult time that you're going through? This is kind of like going full circle from being, a child that is consoled by a parent to being a parent that consoles, and then being an adult that is consoled. That was kind of an interesting way of looking at it. Okay, so finally, as adults, hopefully we are able to self-regulate in most situations. However, sometimes we may benefit from the containment that is provided by another. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks.